2023 NFL season kickoff prediction show. I'm your host, the Candyman, and we're back. We got NFL football tonight, Chiefs, Detroit. But before we start, I want to introduce the panel. Right to my left, your right, is Big Daddy, big Detroit Lions fan. Big Daddy, how we doing this year?
I'm good, Candyman. So it's been a great summer, but looking to come back and making my predictions for the 2023-24 season.
Well, there are big hopes in Detroit this year. Let's see if they can upset Wi-Fi's Jersey, Pat Mahomes, and the Chiefs. We got a new guest this year. Wi-Fi, how you feeling, my man?
I'm feeling pretty confident. I think that tonight's going to be a great game to kick off the season, and I'm pretty excited to watch.
Good. Me too as well. Now, to my left, your right, next to Wi-Fi, a familiar face here on Keeping Score. We got the M-Dog!
Yes, the dog pound. It's going to be barking loud this year. Oh, wait till you hear my predictions. I'm not so sure if you're going to like them, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, it's getting hot. Opening day, NFL. Good to be here.
My buddy, the M-Dog, is a big Giant fan. I'm a big Jet fan. I actually got season tickets this year. I'm not going September 11th. We'll talk about that when the Bills come to town. The assignment this year was to pick one team as a dominating team, a surprise team, and a disappointing team. We will start in the AFC, but before we go with our studio selections, we are joined by alumni host, straight from the University of Alabama, Roll Tide, T-Money! Here we go. We're going to hear from T-Money.
Not even graduation could get me away from this show. I know you were so excited. This was your chance to win, finally, but I'm back. And I am going to basically tell everyone here how this NFL season is going to play out. So we're talking AFC football. The Chiefs are going to dominate. I mean, how could it be anyone else? Patrick Mahomes is still far and away the best QB in the NFL. They got weapons. Isaiah Pacheco, for example, is a running back that's going to step up in a big way. I'm a little scared by Chris Jones holding out, but he'll be back when it matters. I really think this is a 14-15 win team in Kansas City. Let's talk surprise now. Give me the Denver Broncos. As you guys may remember, I correctly picked them to be the letdown team in the AFC last year. And that was in part because of their coach. Nathaniel Hackett was atrocious. He didn't know what he was doing. This year, Sean Payton is one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. What he did with Drew Brees was incredible. And I think he will do the same with Russell Wilson. This is a team that will be in the playoffs and really be a threat to make some noise this year. And for the disappointment, how could it be anyone else? The New York Jets. That, if you look up disappointment in the dictionary, a picture of the Jets logo will show up. And look, if I get to hate on the Jets while also getting to hate on Aaron Rodgers, I will absolutely take that opportunity. Look, this is a team, they're already losing wide receivers. Guys are retiring and getting hurt on them. You know, I don't know if I like Robert Saleh that much as a head coach. This is going to be a bad year. I think the Jets win 5 games, and people are calling for Rodgers' head in New York.
Wow, T-Money, man. Such the Jet hater. I love T-Money. He's a younger generation. When M-Dogs and I were growing up and Big Daddy over here, you kind of felt Giant Jet love a little bit. I guess he doesn't get that. Speaking of the M-Dog, we're going to go to your picks. What are your picks? And hopefully we'll react well to them.
Well, you might not like them a little bit there, Ryan, but listen. And I kind of agree a little bit with Team Money. More on this later. But as far as domination is concerned, I think out in L.A., they're going to have a new team that's going to dominate in La La Land. It's not going to be the Rams. I think it's going to be the Chargers this year. They got a lot of weapons. A lot of weapons.
I like the Chargers.
You know, those fans in San Diego are going to be wishing they still had that team. They're going to be regretting it, letting them go. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Chargers will be in there. You know, obviously they're going to be the regular teams. You know, the Chiefs and all those guys will be there. But M-Dog, I got to go off the grid a little bit and go against the grain. You know,
piggyback with the Chargers. Remember the whole Chargers-Jags game? You're like, good pick last year. I text you, it's not over, and the Jaguars came back to win. I thought the Chargers should have won that game. Sorry.
Chargers are going to be angry. That's what I'm talking about.
You're angry.
All right. Speaking of going off the grid, speaking of going against the grain, all right, there's a dog pound here, the M-Dog pound, but there's also a dog pound out in Cleveland, if you recall. All right, you know. And let me tell you something: the heart of rock and roll is still beating in Cleveland. Well, they're going to be going to their own beat over there with the Cleveland Browns over there. You know, they call Cleveland a mistake on the lake. Now, there's no mistake here. Let me tell you something. Cleveland Browns are going to do some surprising with their quarterback, Odell Beckham, going and grabbing those picks, you know. So, well, the catches. And so I think the Browns will surprise some people. You know what I'm saying? Now, the last one. Oh, before I move on to the last one, I do agree with M-Dog and his surprise team, but he's a little bit too late. I told you about the Broncos last year. He must have gone out to Denver and he might have had dinner with the Mile High Prophet. So, you know, Denver, good pick, Team Money, but I mean, I've been telling you this for a year. All right, and Team Money, I do agree with you with the Jets. All right, listen. I hope I'm wrong on this one, and usually I am, so you shouldn't have to worry about anything there, Ryan, because I'm usually wrong, but I don't think the Jets are going to be as good as they say. Aaron Rodgers, a big question mark. Yes, they got some talent with the Jets, but I think that they're not going to win as many games as they think. Maybe more than 5, like Team Money predicts, but I'm going to go, I think the Jets are going to disappoint.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Sorry, man. Sorry.
That's okay. I get that every year.
Just getting that.
You know,
and you know what it is? It's like being a Met fan. I think they're going to disappoint me every year, too. So, I mean, you know, it's just the way it is. It's the way it is. And I can't say the Giants are going to disappoint because, you know, I don't think they will. But nonetheless,
I think
we'll
a successful Jet season is make the playoffs.
Yeah. You're right.
10-7
we'll see.
The playoffs. 9
10 wins you
predicted?
predicted?
Woohoo!
Maybe
well,
8
no,
wins.
I agree. So.
Maybe 8 wins. All right. That's it for me, right? I went down the gamut.
Always
right?
delivering. Always delivering. Great guest. Great on the panel. We got a new person on the panel. Not Wiffy, but we got Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. Welcome. Mahomes. Wi-Fi. What are your picks?
Well, as the dominant team, coincidentally, I'm wearing their jersey. I think that the Chiefs will be the best team in the AFC. I don't think it'll be all particularly close. I think the Bengals will be the only team that can realistically beat them to go to the Super Bowl on the AFC side. I think there'll be other great teams. Buffalo Bills are obviously a great team. LA Chargers, as they were mentioned. But I just think the Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in the AFC.
Okay.
But, you know, we talk about the best teams always, and we always talk about who's going to win. We don't talk about who's going to maybe steal a 7th seed, right? I think the Houston Texans. I think the Houston Texans are a great team that
Texas.
I think they're a team that could just sneak their way in, maybe get 8-9 wins. And I don't know how many wins that you'll need to get into the playoffs, but I think that Houston, I trust C.J. Stroud, I trust the weapons, and I trust the DBs to not get burnt every play for 300 yards throughout the season.
Is there running back going to do things? I drafted in one of my fantasy leagues, figuring like, hey, when your offense is not running well, hand the ball to Pierce.
I think
hand the ball to Pierce. Help my fantasy.
I think Dameon Pierce is a very talented running back. I don't know if I'd say he's going to help that team tremendously, but I think that he is very capable to get them at least an extra win or two than they would have without him.
Cool.
But we were talking about surprises. Let's talk about disappointments too. You had them as a surprise, M-Dog, but I think that they're going to be a disappointment. I think the Cleveland Browns.
You ever been to Cleveland?
I have been to
didn't think
Cleveland.
so. Oh, yeah.
I have been to Cleveland.
Oh,
gonna have to
whoa,
talk
Wi-Fi.
about that.
Wi-Fi's a traveler.
I've
He's
been to
been in the
Cleveland.
Midwest.
I think they're going to be a disappointment. I don't trust Deshaun Watson. I think that he has hit a point in his career where he needs to really have a whole season to get back into the groove. He missed a lot of games last season, and I just don't trust him to really carry that team to 10, 11 wins like people are saying.
I agree with that Deshaun Watson analysis. I mean, he's a really good player, but he hasn't played in a year, and we'll see. It's a big question mark out there in Cleveland. Could go M-Dog's way, could go Wi-Fi's way. Now we're up to Big Daddy, big Detroit Lion fan.
I am.
He's going to go through his picks, and we will break them down.
Well, for the AFC, I am thinking that the dominant team is going to be the Chiefs again. You know, Super Bowl champions. They did really well last year. We'll see what happens tonight, though. You know, they're playing the Lions. I think the Lions are going to come out strong. I'm not sure if they're going to beat the Chiefs tonight, but I think they're going to make it interesting. So we will keep our fingers crossed. So, but as far as the AFC goes and dominating team, I think they're going to take it all. So and win that AFC championship. My surprise team, it's the Jets, but not because of a good surprise. I think that the expectation is you got Rodgers. It's going to be a great season. I think he's going to disappoint. I think he's going to be a disappointment and a surprise disappointment. So again, it's just one of those things that we asked about surprises. I think it's going to be a negative surprise. So
I think it's like a Brett Favre Part 2 scenario.
yes, that's exactly
Green
it.
Bay Star.
Right.
Get it done, but they didn't get it done.
They didn't get it.
Math teacher, positive, negative. Is
That's
it
right.
negative?
Yeah, it's a negative.
Was it
It's a
positive
negative
number?
surprise. So
But isn't a negative plus a negative equal a positive?
that's the
A
negative times
negative
a
plus a
negative.
negative time. That was from Stand
Yeah.
and Deliver.
Right, 'cause if
Edward
you
James
keep-
almost back
Negative
in the
and
day.
negative.
Yes,
Way
that's
before
right.
Wi-Fi's time.
That is.
Our
that is,
time,
yeah.
but before Wi-Fi's time.
Yeah, but if you keep
Amazon.
going, if you keep going in the negative, you're going to score for the Lions tonight. Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah.
But my disappointment team for the AFC, I think it's going to be the Buffalo Bills this season. I think that Josh Allen, he's a little bit too full of himself. He's listening too much of the media. He's reading into his own hype. And I think that he's going to disappoint this year. I mean, I think that the Bills are going to try to repeat and do what they did last year. But I don't think that they're going to come through. I think they're actually going to be a disappointment this year and come up with maybe a 50-50 record, maybe a losing record this season. We'll see.
Wow.
That is my prediction.
My in-laws are gonna
Listen,
crush you, man.
I was all into
I
Buffalo
might agree
last
with
year.
you. They might crush me too. All into Buffalo
Yeah.
last year.
Right.
Finish the thought.
Yeah, exactly. I was all into Buffalo last year. You know, they're a New York team. They're really the only true New York team.
Oh,
But
boy.
I'm just saying, gentlemen, you know,
Oh, boy.
they're the only ones who play in New York, so they're the only New York team.
Oh, come on.
However, I think that they're going to disappoint this year.
Grab the helmet real quick. I'll give my picks. Okay? Grab the helmet.
There you go.
Yes. Okay. So it's time for my picks. Buffalo is part of them, but I'm going to wait to the end. I went to day one of Buffalo Bills training camp. We'll put it back on set there. Went to day one. And we actually went to day one and day two with my wife, my sister-in-law, some kids. We're trying to camp out to get autographs. And who walked right up to us?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
There you go.
Josh Allen signed for the kids. My kids were actually on the Buffalo Bills video at the end of day one. On their website, we freeze-framed the picture. We made a frame out of it. Let me tell you, he's the real deal. Very good with the fans, very poised. If the Bills lose, I don't think it's going to be because of him. I do think their window is closed. Sorry, in-laws, I just think it has. But let's talk about domination. You're going to hate this even more. I think it's going to be the Bengals. Joey Burrow and company, and who's my number one, my number one pick in fantasy. I had the number 2 pick overall, Jamar Chase. He actually won me a championship last year. And then they got great backup receivers with Boyd. Hopefully Joe Mixon gets it going. And who is their defensive specialist? Caps Hubbard? Is that his name? I think they will overtake the Chiefs. My surprise team is the Steelers. So our production manager, Dano, you're going to be really happy. Steelers, Kenny Pickett. I think their backup, I wrote this down, it's Mitch Trubisky. I'm sorry. So they have a decent backup in case he goes down. Give the ball to Najee. Not really sure Deontay Johnson, I think, is their primary target. And bring back the steel curtain. So let's see what they can do. I hate to say it, Buffalo fans. I hate to say it, Mafia. Hey, you're gonna disappoint. You're mad at me. I get it. Next time in Western New York, you can go after me. You can do TLC on me, not the traditional one, tables, ladders, and chairs, Hardy Boy style. I think the window is closed. One concern I have about the Bills is that they don't have a defensive coordinator. Their head coach is doing the defense. I think that's just a lot to take on. And I think the running back scenario there is a little suspect. Let's see what happens. I mean, I do like, even though I'm a Jet fan, I got some Bills fans in the family, and it is fun when those two are, kind of rivaling in the AFCs for domination. Now we're going to switch focus to the NFC. Oh, and then we're going with my picks first. Okay, so my picks first, San Francisco 49ers, okay? What happened in the NFC Championship game last year? They ran out of quarterback personnel. Brock Purdy got hurt. I think McCaffrey got in for some snaps, okay? They have actually a good backup. I wrote it down. Sam Darnold, former Jet starter. So Brock goes down, maybe Sam can, carry it. 2 great receivers in Debo and Ayuk. McCaffrey's being used. I think Nick Bosa just signed the richest contract for a defensive player in history. I think it averages to $34 million a year, beating out Darnold's $31.7 a year. I'm high on the Niners. I just think they went to that NFC Championship game crawling last year with lack of personnel. Surprise team, I got the Lions, but I don't think that's really a surprise. They were really trending up last year. They did switch personnel at running back. They got David Montgomery, correct?
They did, and they got the new rookie, so Jamar Gibbs.
Yeah, so hopefully that they can be a good 1-2 tandem, which is the new theme in the NFL, right? 1-2 tandems. They're not playing NFL running backs. We saw what Cook did with the holdout. We saw what Barkley did. Look what Jonathan Taylor's doing with the Colts right now. Is he still holding out, or did they agree yet? I think he finally agreed. To a contract.
I think he's still currently
still holding out.
I don't think he's holding
out. On my fantasy draft, it said out. We talked about the Lions. Did they have a 500 record or 8-9 or 9-8?
They had a winning season.
Okay, so they did, and they played well against some good team members. They gave the Bills a challenge on Thanksgiving Day. It was a 12 o'clock game, and all that stuff. So they're trending up. My disappointment team, the Minnesota Vikings. I actually watched quarterback, and Kirk Cousins is very likable. I was going to go with a different team here. I just don't see it with the Vikings. They played a close game against the Bills and beat them last year. I think they got a lot of luck. JJ's a great wide receiver. You're not beating that. I'm really not sure if they have a defense. I thought they would beat the Giants, and Dable dialed up a great game plan. It didn't happen. I just kind of see them trending down a little bit this year. So those are my NFC picks. Do you guys want to react to that at all?
You'll see what I think later. That's all I can say.
Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is going to come in strong with the technological statistician picks later. Technology picks later.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Gen Z.
Excuse me?
He's Gen Z.
Gen Z.
He's going to use all that's available to him.
Gen Z. That's true. It's like fantasy drafts aren't even fun anymore. It's just like it's done for you, the auto picks. Okay. We're going to transition. We'll go to Big Daddy's picks. Big Daddy, what do you got for us?
So my dominant team, I think the Eagles, again, they showed really great poise last year. I think they're going to kind of repeat it again this year. I agree with you with 49ers. I was up in the air between the Eagles and the 49ers, but I think that the Eagles have a better chance to dominate this season. Why the Lions? Not my dominant team, because I don't think that they're going to dominate. However, I do think that they're going to be the surprise team only because I think people are going to be surprised at how well they really do. I think that the team is got great talent. It's got a great head coach. It's just one of those things that with everything that's in place now, they're ready to win. And
are you confident in Jared Goff's play?
I am confident in Jared Goff. And the best part is that if Goff gets hurt, if he's not doing what he needs to do, we've got a great backup quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, no, I looked that up. Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
I think having a good backup quarterback is huge. Look what happened to the Niners in the NFC Championship.
And that's exactly it. So, you know what? If Goff goes down for whatever reason, we've got a great backup quarterback. I watched him in the preseason, and he started clicking. So I think that he is going to be a difference maker if something happens at that quarterback position. And again, like I said before, we have a great new running back with Jahmyr Gibbs. Weapon. I mean, when Kansas City Chiefs coach is saying, we're ready for him, that means he is on everybody's radar. So watch out. He is going to be a weapon that the Lions are going to be using all over the place.
See what he does tonight.
Yeah, we will see. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. And the team that's going to disappoint in the NFC, Green Bay Packers. You know, it's one of those things that last game, the Lions had no stake in it. They were out of the playoffs. Seattle went in. Lions were out. So what did they do? They took away Green Bay's playoff season. So they won that last game.
That was pretty cool.
And they won. And again, Dan Campbell was like, we're playing to play. And again, I think they're going to go and do the same thing to Green Bay and wipe floor with them all season long. So they're going to be my disappointment this year.
Okay. Now we're going to do Generation Zer. Wi-Fi. NFC picks. What do you got for us, Pat?
Well, I think I'm in agreement with Big Daddy here. I think the Eagles are going to be the dominant team in the NFC. I don't think that it's going to be a wide margin. I think that the 49ers will be very close, but I don't trust the health of that team to really stay with Philadelphia, who's been a much healthier team over recent years. So I think Philadelphia, who was almost undefeated throughout most of last season, I think they're going to be the team to beat in the NFC. But we talk about that bird team. Let's move to another bird team, the Seahawks. I think they're the team that's going to surprise the most. I've seen so many people talking about the Lions. Obviously, it's a surprise team. But I don't think that they are a surprise anymore because I think a lot of people have really taken notice of what that team can do and how they played at the end of last season. I think Seattle is a team that everyone's kind of sleeping on right now. I've seen a lot of people having them out of their playoffs or not even close to the playoffs, and I'm thinking to myself, they could possibly win the division.
Wi-Fi, do you believe in Geno Smith? This is a Geno Smith autograph helmet donated by one Dennis O'Connor.
I am a Geno Smith believer. I think that he can take that team to a divisional round, maybe even an NFC Championship.
Pro Bowler last year.
I wouldn't say Super Bowl, but I think
Is the Pro Bowl still real?
Yeah, I think it's still real. I don't think it holds value, but I think it's still real. I think that he can take that team to great heights, though, and I'm excited to see what they do. But I'm not excited to see what the Minnesota Vikings do, because I think that defense is maybe the worst in the league. I don't have faith in anybody in that personnel. I have faith in Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins. The whole offense I can trust to put 30 points up if they need to. I don't think the defense can stop anybody, really. I think the only team that they really can compete with is in their own division, and that's Green Bay. But we'll see what happens throughout the season. I think that they're going to finish with like an 8-9 record, but you never know.
You and I agree about the Vikings, yeah. Did you see Quarterback on Netflix?
I did.
Did you like the Kirk Cousins story?
I thought it was a good story.
Yeah, it was a good story. He was told like he wouldn't be All-State by his father, who coached him in high school, and then he went. Michigan State was one of the only colleges looking at him, and then he's just proved doubters wrong. So maybe he'll prove us wrong.
I hope he does. But
yeah, me too. He was likable on there. Okay, now we're gonna go to the M-Dog. Resident Giants fan, and he's.
I'm excited about a lot of things this year, but I'm not really excited about my picks because I'm never right. And I'm not excited about my dominate pick because it's the Eagles, it's the NFC East, and they're going up against the Giants, so it kind of stinks, But they're on top right now. You got Jalen Hurts, you got those receivers there, young receivers, a lot of talent, and we got a lot of birds up there. We got the Eagles, and you got Seahawks, if you want to say that, but for a surprising team, and that this would be a positive surprise. I'm not sure whether your Detroit surprise pick was positive or negative.
Oh, no, it was positive.
Positive.
It was
so
a positive
one negative,
surprise.
one positive for
Yes.
you, and a
Surprise
positive
party.
for me
Right.
with the Atlanta Falcons with their new young gun, Bijan Robinson, hook 'em horns. He's gonna do a lot of things down in Atlanta, and I think he's gonna elevate everybody's game. They got a talented tight end that's ready to break out. They got some good pieces down there, and I think they'll surprise a few people. And then you got the Dallas Cowboys. So with the Eagles, it's easy to see the Eagles rising again because the Cowboys, they stink. They disappoint. They diss everybody. They disappoint everybody for the last 30 years.
Dak needs a really big bounce back
Oh
here.
my
Throwing
goodness!
so many picks
So and I might be a little biased because
Yeah.
I'm hoping the Cowboys really do disappoint, and that'll allow maybe the Giants to sneak in there with their talent. I think the Giants a toss up this year. No, it's a toss up.
Dallas comes to town.
See what happens. It's gonna be a big game. We got some big games up front. In the first couple weeks. So we'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be an exciting season. We'll see.
Nice. Love the picks. All right. So now we got to go back down to Alabama to hear from the former host of this show, T Money. Let's see what he has to say.
Come on, Big Daddy and M-Dog, you guys are killing me. Eagles as the dominate team is an absurd pick. Look, Philly's not going to be that good this year. Nick Sirianni is a horrible coach. He'll get exposed this season, and this is a team that they'll be good. They'll be in the playoffs, but they won't even win their own division. We obviously know the Giants will. The Giants will win the NFC East. They're not my dominate team, though. And Ryan, Candyman, you're going to love this pick. The Minnesota Vikings are going to be the best team in the NFC. They have an insanely tough schedule. I'm not going to deny that. They're playing so many good teams. But Kirk Cousins is going to have an MVP season, and they will finish 14-3. Get the first round bye. It is Minnesota's year. If we're talking surprise team, give me the LA Rams. I don't know why everyone's moved on from them so fast. Like, yeah, last year was bad. But Matt Stafford is still a very, very good, if not elite quarterback. Cooper Kupp is still a top 3 receiver in football. And Aaron Donald is still Aaron Donald. I mean, come on. How are we not putting this team in the playoffs? I think they will probably not win the NFC West, but finish close second, make a wild card, and who knows what they can do in the playoffs. Disappointment team. I was tempted to go Packers like Big Daddy, but instead I went with their rival, the Chicago Bears. I just don't think Justin Fields is that good of a QB. And I think that The team itself is not great. They're probably going to win about 6 games, and Chicago will go back to the drawing board once again. All right, there are my picks. Roll Tide.
Team Money, it's great to hear from you. And I picked the Vikings to disappoint, and so did Wi-Fi. I think it could go either way. I'm hoping, I like Kirk Cousins. I like Coach O'Connell. He's a former Jet, actually. I think he was a backup quarterback for the New York Jets back in the day. It's always great to hear from you. I hope you're going to work with the Crimson Tide in sports media, maybe do some football shows and radio shows. So we'll be back with a mid-season report card show, and we can maybe grade our initial picks here. I want to thank the M-Dog. Give us a dog pound.
Ooh, go Giants!
Wi-Fi with the great Pat Mahomes jersey that my wife would hate because she's a Josh guy. Thanks for joining us.
Yep,
Any closing remarks?
No, I've said all I need to say.
Generation Z is comfortable that he said what he needed to say. He's going to go on the World Wide Web to look up some more stats after the show. Big Daddy, you want to close with anything?
I made the prediction last year. Going to make that same prediction this year. Lions, Super Bowl champs.
See, I love the loyalty to the Lions, Big Daddy. That's great. I'm a Jet fan. I just want to see them make the playoffs, and I want to go to some games, take my family, enjoy the tailgate. This is going to be a great year for 2023 NFL shows here on WVTV. For WVTV, I'm the Candyman, and we'll see you next time.